Alright guys, I figured I'd give you an update to my PinCab upgrade progress. As you can see here, the mess just seems to continue to grow, as it always is whenever I do upgrades. So, if you come over to the cab, you're going to see things, well, something maybe a little different. First things first, I did tighten down a lot of stuff, like my hacked up controller. Now I got, everything nicely tightened down, and, I went through and tried to sort of, tighten up little things like I don't have the covers on yet, but I screwed on the topper so that it'll be held nicely into place, and other things. Did a lot of cleanup for the wiring and got rid of some old power bricks from the old TV and the old screen that I used to have in there that were still stuck underneath and all that. So all that's gone now, but the big difference is, what do we see here? Oh yes, it truly is a stern shaker motor installed and fully functional. That's right. It is finally time to shake this bad boy up, and it's working great, guys. The one thing I want to point out with this install that went afoul was if you get a real stern shaker, it'll come possibly, depending on which one you get, with this adapter board here. And I wanted to use it because it made it just easy to plug in, the shaker here, and then I could plug this into, the rest of my circuitry here. But as a result, yeah, I wasn't paying close attention, because normally you want to have a diode in parallel with your shaker motor for any EM, reflections coming back onto your circuitry. Well, it turns out this diode was actually in series, not parallel, and as a result, it basically caused damage to my H-bridge output, and so that did a bit of a delay there, but we got through her. So to basically a simple explanation is, I have my LED whiz that is basically controlling most of the stuff in my cab. Instead of using the direct output of the LED whiz to basically control the shaker, I have instead, I know, well, it's a little dirty, I haven't cleaned it up yet, but you can see I tapped in to the input of this buffer chip. I think it's a buffer chip, instead of using the output of it, and as a result, then the LED whiz is basically not using that. It's going directly over to the H-bridge here, and the H-bridge basically is powered by 12 volts here, and over here is the output that goes over to our motor. So basically the LED whiz, pulse width modulated input, goes to here, and then that's basically telling this how much to basically pass through to the motor, and how fast, how often. It's basically, instead of you have a choice of either you could have a shaker motor that's always on and at the same speed, or by doing some kind of method set up like this, where you have a motor controller board of some sort that will then basically control the pulse width modulation, which then you can do that all through software and everything else, and blah blah blah. Bottom line is, yeah, I wanted to have this so that I could vary the intensity and the power, so that way, you have a lot more control. And, so that's basically the way it's working in a nutshell. And so I guess I'll just do a quick demonstration here. Oh, and actually one other issue I had was the bolts that came with this sucker. Because you have 14 nuts. You place this thing into your cab without this plastic cover on. And you have 4 holes in there. You drill the holes through. And then underneath, you're going to have T-nuts that will basically, you hammer them up into the cab, and then you'll put bolts through the actual motor itself, the motor mount, into those T-nuts, and then you'll fasten it down. Well, the bolts that came with it weren't long enough, because I got a pretty thick cab here all the way around, and they were too short, so I had to go out and get longer bolts. So those are the only holdups I had with installing this. Basically, I guess we could do a quick little test here. So if you take a look here, we're all going to be using let's take a look here, the DOF-Link's device testing program there. So basically this is on this is going to be on full power for a few seconds here. as you can see in here, that's a very loud and very powerful, and that's on full power, guys. So I'll point out that, you know, a lot of people, you know, talked about, you know, these shakers are really powerful compared to like do-it-yourself ones, and that they'll, you know, possibly shake your cab so much that it actually moves it across the floor. Well, I'll tell you, and I've been saying for a long time that my cab is super friggin' heavy, guys, and it's true. Like this thing, you know, even on full power, like look. She ain't budging at all, guys. And I'm gonna point out, I don't even have my TV or my computer in the cab right now. So, you know, and that's a lot of weight, that computer alone. So, yeah, like, I don't think I have to worry about my cab, you know, skidding across the floor with this sucker. So, I'll say, on full power, it's a bit much. It is a bit too much. So, you know, like, I do like dialing it down. I find somewhere between half and, you know, max seems to be pretty good. About maybe 3/4 power. But this is about half power right here. So you can hear the difference. It's just a huge difference with that. So yeah. So but she works great, guys. You know, and DOF links, it works great. Of course, visual pinball and normal DOF, it works great. And as a result of setting it up this way, I can now control how intense I want the motor to be shaking up. Some of that you have to configure yourself in DOF config tool, but in DOF links you could just set one maximum level, like, because it doesn't control it, the variable amounts in DOF links, you know, but you just set your max and you're still good to go with that. But yeah, she's working really good, guys, and so yeah, so now it's a matter of getting the TV mounted in there somehow so it's a little more secure, possibly, because it just rests inside there right now, guys. And I guess for upgrades coming, maybe a tilt bob at some point, and figuring out if and or how I'm going to be using the Pinscape. You know, the nudging is a little difficult on this extremely heavy cab, as I mentioned before. So you know, I don't know how effective that's going to be. And this area here might be a little bit different in the soon upcoming future. I'm just waiting for certain parts to come in the mail, so we'll see how that pans out. And yeah, so just keep an eye out for any updates on the PinCab and any other videos I'm doing, guys. And I guess I'll see you in the next video.